What's going on, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with another video today. AJ Brown trade's finally finalized. We got the details of it. We're just going to dive right into everything. No intro, no nothing. We've been waiting for this one. It's exciting to finally talk about. We've been waiting for this for a while. We knew it was coming. Me, myself, there was a little bit of doubt. Kind of went back and forth on whether I want it to happen. Really going to happen? Is it just set up? But obviously now it's done. So we can kind of reflect on what we got. And even in this video, I'm going to go a little further back and I'm going to go through the stats year to year. And we're just going to find out what we lost and, just pay some respect to AJ, because with everything that's gone on, it still helped us win a Super Bowl. One of the best receivers in franchise history, and he did it in a very limited time here. So all love for AJ Brown. Appreciate everything he did. I think the organization handled it with class. I think he handled it with class. Some of the fans might have been a little more upset. You might have a little bit of issue here and there. But for me personally, if it's time to move on, it's time to move on. So I wish him the best. But anyway, let's dive into this. From Ari Mirov, the Eagles traded a first and a third-round pick for A.J. Brown in 2022. They got 4 years out of him. That included 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl title, and now trade him for a first and fifth-round pick. All in all, good business. It was time. And I think this one really hit it home. We are losing an amazing player. He definitely outplayed the contract. He definitely outplayed what we traded for him. He brought everything here that we needed, elevated Jalen to another level, gave Smitty true time to develop in the league. Not saying he wouldn't have otherwise, but it just gave him a little less pressure and a little bit easier for him to get through every week as well. So I think AJ coming in changed a lot of things for us, and for the better at that. From Howie Roseman's side of things, business side of things, no surprise here. Howie does what Howie does. It's amazing that he went down from a third to a fifth 4 years later, 2 Super Bowl appearances later, all the ups and downs. Just great business from Howie Roseman, keeping the Eagles in a position to be competitive, to potentially make a trade moving forward, and just having more assets. If you're going to lose someone like AJ, we might have gained a little on defense, but we still need a safety. There's always the potential of a future O-lineman, another weapon. So it's just good business. Get out of it while things are good. Don't wait until it's a problem. And I think we really maximized the trade value here. So it was perfect timing all around. Got another tweet here that I wanted to go over. I think this one helps, people kind of understand and decompress about the A.J. Brown trade. The more I'm seeing, the more I'm kind of relaxing on it. When the trade initially happened, a lot of emotions initially, because you don't really know how to feel. Eagles have never really had 2 weapons like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown at the same time. So it is really, really weird to see them split up, and how do you feel about it? How do you work through something like that? As a fan, we might be a little dramatic about it, but he's been with us through a lot. He's been through our best times and some of our worst times, obviously not as a team, not record-wise, but just drama in the locker room. This from Ian Rappaport. The Eagles saved $50 million or so on A.J. Brown money they've spent acquiring standout edge Jonathan Grenard from the Vikings. This also helps them recoup picks, getting a future first and 5 for Brown after giving up a third and a future third and getting back a 7th with Grenard. Again, just Howie, business side of things. It don't get any better than this. The Eagles really are spoiled when it comes to how our GM works. Look at a guy like Les Snead. He's trading all the draft picks away to bring superstars in. Howie remains competitive now and in the future. Not saying this is something I want or that it's going to happen, but you could go get a guy like Max Crosby right now and not really be giving up much of anything of your own compensation in a trade like that. Is it feasible? Is it possible? That's a story for a different day. But with the assets he has available, you could do something like that. Also, when losing A.J. Brown at wide receiver, all the wide receivers moves up to this point make a lot more sense. You bringing in Hollywood Brown, who can be a starter. You bring in Devontae Wicks, give him an extension. You brought in all these different guys. You draft first-round wide receiver Mekhi Lemon. You've done all these things to prepare for losing AJ. Something that we weren't really good at before, but let's overcrowd the room and make sure we see 5 guys who stick out. Obviously, Devontae Smith is going to, but you need another couple guys that are really going to show that they can be there for us in the long run, because the season is one thing. We can run through the season. We can win by the skin of our teeth. But once you hit the playoffs, it's a man's league. You got to have the guys that can do the dirty work when it comes time. So having this wealth of riches at wide receiver We hope to be able to call it that, we'll say. Kind of helps with losing A.J. Brown because it does give you some hope moving forward. Also, with the picks, we lost a lot through this draft, it felt like. We gave up 2/4 to Dallas to move up, third this year, third next year. So it did feel like we were kind of draining. We had a lot of extra picks over the past couple years, so it's nice to be back on the right side of things. Even if the Patriots remain competitive over the next 2 years, that second first round pick, even if we don't trade it, you trade back with it, you get a second, a third, maybe a future fourth, a big package for someone to move up into the first round, and then it continues that, and then you rebuild, and then we retool and we regrow the way we have over the past couple years. So just A plus from Howie Roseman. Again, it just doesn't get much better than this. He values the now and he values the future. So the last part of this I really wanted to cover, and this is to shout out A.J. Brown, how consistent he's been, how good he's been. Obviously, the numbers don't tell the whole tale of things. There's so much I could have done here, showed a highlight reel, but I think when it comes down to it, the consistency in the numbers is what you really have to applaud here from AJ. Even with injuries, missing games, sharing targets, a run-heavy offense, he has remained productive throughout his entire career. If you think early on when he was with the Titans, you're competing with Derrick Henry for touches. All right, to put up 52 for 1,000 yards, 20 yards a catch in his rookie season, I remember that vividly because we got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. So I watched all the other first and second round pick wide receivers go out there and have unbelievable seasons, and this season from him literally made me sick. He was not a guy that was on my radar before the draft, but the minute he started playing, you knew who he was. Unbelievable season, 8 touchdowns. Just an unbelievable season. A great rookie year from him, and I don't even think that's as good as he could have been that year had he got the time he deserved earlier. 2020, 70 catches for 1,075 yards, 15 yards a catch, 11 touchdowns. Another great season. 21, 63 for 869, 5 touchdowns. I want to say he was injured that year. Something definitely happened. Maybe it was Derrick Henry's big year, but there was definitely a reason for the dip in production. I remember a lot of Eagles fans talking about that when we got him, oh, he's already declining. You gave up too much. And then he comes in and has the 2022 season, 88 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 17 yards a catch, 11 touchdowns. Just an unbelievable welcome to Philly. That season was so incredible. We had been starving for good wide receiver play up to that point, and AJ, he was the guy for us. We had Smitty, but you needed one more. You needed something else to really put us over the top, and that was the move. It made Jalen into an MVP candidate, changed the whole dynamic of the team. Even with bad coordinator play, we were still competitive in every game, and that's pretty big thanks to A.J. Brown. And then he follows that up with the 23 season, which is even more insane. 106 catches, again, 1,456 yards, 13.7 a catch, 7 touchdowns. Absolutely dominant, caught everything that was thrown at him. Very, very pivotal in that season for what we were able to do, where we were able to go. Yet again, just another season that, we'll never forget anytime soon. Then you got 24, 67 catches, still over 1,000 yards, 16 yards a catch, 7 touchdowns, still scoring touchdowns. Every year he's 7 or more, except for that 21 season, every year he's putting up 7 or more touchdowns. Just incredible consistency, 78 catches, again, catching everything, or 67 catches, again, catching everything that comes at him. These last 2 seasons with Saquon Barkley in there, with all the offensive ups and downs, the chaos, the drama, the bad offensive coordinator, the good offensive coordinator. It just, for him to put up these kinds of numbers throughout all of that is just, it really is a testament to who he is. I don't think there's going to be much of a decline with him, not right away at least. I think it's going to take a major injury to derail AJ and really knock him off course. Father Time is undefeated, but I think he's still got plenty of good ball in him. I expect him to go out and have another 1,000-yard, 2,000, another 1,000-yard season, 2 seasons of it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. He's going to be good for the Patriots. If Drake May can put the ball on him, he's going to have a very productive season. Congratulations to him getting back with Vrabel. I hope that's what they really want. I hope all the success in the world to them until they face the Eagles. How sweet it would be to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl next year. One could only wish, but you know, that's pretty much it, guys. If you got more to add to it, feel free to comment down below. I know this was a little all over, really just sharing my feelings with the AJ trade, with what he did while he was here, and just trying to show some respect and some love. I don't know how the other content creators are handling this, but for me, it was definitely a bittersweet moment. You know, good to see everybody get what they want, good to see fair compensation for the player. But again, you know, I've said it a couple of times. I would have loved to have seen him run it back this year. I think it would have been awesome. It would have been a crazy season. The cap implications next year probably would have been insane. You know, the flexibility this gives us now is going to be fantastic for the team. Again, gives us more chances to make moves, bring other guys in. So definitely something we had to do, had to be done. You know, wish him all the best, and hopefully we can find a way to replace this void he's going to leave behind. All right, guys, with that being said, that's pretty much going to end the video here today. Again, shout out to AJ Brown, all the things he did for us, bringing a Super Bowl back to Philly. You know, no easy task. We've only got 2. The 4 years he was here, we've seen 2 Super Bowls. So, you know, it's just, it can't be understated how much he was appreciated, how much he's loved, even moving forward through all the good, through all the bad. Wish him nothing but the best. As for the Birds this year, I have very high hopes. I'm excited to start putting out receiver videos, going over everything that the guys do well, that they do bad. Let's start to see who's going to carve out a role. I'll probably do a little bit of film study, maybe some YouTube highlights of some guys, try to find some lowlights to throw in there, start digging through different reports and different tweets and stuff, just see what we can dig up on these guys and see what we're really getting into this year. I'm excited for Smitty. I can't wait to see what he does as a true number 1. I think him and Jalen are going to feast this year. I think with the new route combinations that Sean Mannion's bringing to the offense, we're seeing a lot of that on Twitter recently about guys running routes they've never run here before. It's going to be exciting. I hope these guys are up to the task. With that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next video.